This is Jim Williams with the Hurricane City Tropical Update for November 20th, 11 a.m. Well, this time of the year, we usually don't see much activity, and here's the typical track for a named storm if one were to develop in late November, or any time in November for that matter, and that would be primarily off to the northeast. A lot of times you'll see the Greater Antilles here in the Cuba, Puerto Rico, or you'll see the Dominican Republic, Haiti, East Bahamas, and then possibly Bermuda, which is our current feature at Hurricane City. By the way, they were affected by Tropical Storm Sean on the 11th, and that's the last area to be affected by a named storm in the Atlantic Basin. But we do have another system developing out there, and here's the visible shot of, from NOAA, the floater loop, visible shot of 99L. Invest 99L is northeast of Puerto Rico. And if you look at the visible shot here, you can see there's a circulation right in here, way to the south of the big blob of convection up in here. And the center of circulation is trying to consolidate, but there's continued westerly wind shear, which is fairly typical this time of the year, where you get the tops blown off to the northeast and the center is exposed. But a lot of the global models are indicating that we could see this begin to consolidate, maybe become a subtropical storm. The next name on the list is Tammy. But the long-range indications are that this is going to head out to sea no matter what happens here, and this will not be a strong storm. No models are really indicating this is going to be real strong. I think a Canadian shows maybe a potential hurricane, but most of the global models are indicating this will be nothing more than a tropical storm heading into the North Atlantic. In fact, here are the models from the Hurricane City model maps, and you can see clearly the models are off to the northeast, and that may do it for the 2011 Atlantic hurricane season. But, you know, it's been a pretty active season. In fact, here are my city picks, city and island picks that I did back on June 1st on the hurricane season kickoff show. And usually I tell the audience, anybody in the top 5, if your city or island is in my top 5 very high threat category, that you need to be very careful this hurricane season and batten down the hatches. And usually one of my top 5 does get hit by a significant hurricane. This year it was Great Exuma, Bahamas right here. Hurricane Irene battered that island as a Category 3 hurricane, causing a lot of damage. The Bahamas took a hard hit this hurricane season, but believe it or not, the most affected area this year has been Bermuda. 3 named storms, Jose, Maria, and Sean, affected the island of Bermuda. Granted, a lot of them were, most of them were brushes off to the northeast or to the south of the island, but they were affected by tropical systems more than anybody else in the Hurricane City database. In fact, 1/3 of all the cities in the Hurricane City database, about 30 to 35 areas were impacted this year in the Atlantic Basin, and that's out of about 152 locations. But most importantly, the area that I thought was going to be affected the most this year, South Florida, Boynton Beach, Hollywood, Lake Worth, Delray Beach, my location here. I had those as moderate threats this year, but very high threat for Boca Raton, and I felt that South Florida was going to be affected by a named storm. And on the hurricane season kickoff show, I mentioned if South Florida does not get affected by a named storm this year, that I will dress as a hot dog, and that was the most popular vote by all the people that watched the show on June 1st, and we asked a bunch of people, what would you like me to dress as? We had a Tinkerbell, an alligator, a dog, dress as Mae West. I mean, we had all kinds of crazy ideas, but the most popular was dress as a hot dog, so the suit is en route, and I will be dressed right here in the studio cam on November 30th at 8 p.m. I'll have more announcements about that as the date closes in, so mark your calendars for that. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll watch Invest 99L, but it looks like this is just going to move out into the open Atlantic and not be much of a threat to anybody. We'll have a few more updates before the end of the season and see how the tropics are, what the final totals are for the season. That's it for now. Thank you again for visiting Hurricane City.